Good morning and a good day to my students. So today's lesson will be UML use case sequence diagram, UML sequence diagram. So our previous lessons is the UML use case diagram, right? Do you remember our step in a software development lifecycle? Right, this is the step, which is we got 5 major steps. The first one is the red one, the requirement analysis, where once your customer, you as a software engineer, once your customer comes to you and then they told you about their problems, and then you have to analyze the problems, and then you have to come up with the solutions, right? Right, the solutions, we need to design the solution so that the customer will understand how the application will work actually, right? So by having these designs, then you have to give your design to the maybe software engineer or software developer, so they will develop the applications or implement the applications. This is where the coding will work based on the design that you've proposed, right? And then after you implement the applications, this is where you test the applications with the user, whether the system or the application will meet the requirements or not, okay? After that, after the implementations, after the testing part, and then this is where the evolutions of the system is based on the maintenance. Once you're doing the maintenance regularly, right, and then the application will actually know what is needed by the customer. And then if there is requirements for upgrading the service, so this is where the evolution part happens, right? So then you come up with the new requirements, and then you design the new requirements again, and then you implement the new requirement. This is where you got the second versions of the applications, third versions, and fourth versions, and so on and so forth. All right. Okay. All right. Before this, we've learned the use case diagrams. Okay, use case diagram under behavioral diagram. Okay, and then today we are going to learn the sequence diagram under behavioral diagrams too. So under UML diagram, we got 14 diagram altogether. The structural diagram is more on the structure. Structurals means the component, how the component inside the application works or integrate with each other. So this is where the structure diagram is needed. But then the behavioral diagram is more on how the applications will be actually works, right? So this is more on the high level diagrams. Like use case diagram is more on high level diagram, and then the sequence diagram is more on the lower levels, but not as clear as what structure diagram describe the component itself. So sequence diagram is more on how the system is work, or the input is work from one component to another component. So we will see how the component is work from each other, right? So this is the analogy of today's lesson. So user go to the ATM machines. So they want to draw the money, or they want to fund their money, or fund transfer their money, right? So that once they go to the ATM machine, they will insert their card, and then once they insert the card, the ATM machine will, will integrate with the bank server, will communicate with bank server, where the bank server will verify with the bank accounts, right? So they will verify with the bank account, then bank account will return the result whether this card is valid or not, right? And then the user can perform or can operate other tasks, whether they want to transfer, they want to draw the money, right? Depend on the user or behavior, right? User, whether they want to draw or the transfer, right? So to draw the sequence diagram, you need to know the basic knowledge on the symbols of the sequence diagram. So this is the symbols of the sequence diagram, right? The actor is in the stick drawing, like actor in the use case diagram, same in the sequence diagram, and then the object is in the rectangle, right? So today we are going to draw sequence diagram using draw.io. So now you have to open your Google or open your Safari and then type draw.io. So let's withdraw together. Okay. go to the Chrome, right? So this is our Chrome, right? I'm using Chrome. So once you type the draw.io, this pop up, this result will pop up, okay? So you create new diagram, and then you rename the new diagram to maybe sequence diagram. Sequence diagrams, and then you just create, okay? So once you create the sequence diagram, this blank page will be displayed, right? Okay, how to draw the use case diagram? So first, you hover to the UML diagram here, the left part. Right, this is where all the symbols in UML diagram will be shown, okay? Right, so you first thing first, you have to draw this actor. Draw this actor. Okay, so this is our actor. And then you have to know what operation you want to make. Before you clear what operation you want to make, so you have to draw all the entity. So this is where the entity need to be displayed. So first one is the ATM, right? Just now, the analogy one, the ATM, and then second one, we drag again. And then the second one is the bank server, right? Bank server. And then the last entity will be what? User bank account, right? User bank account. All right. So you've done with the lifeline. We call it as a lifeline. Okay. And then you find this one, this symbol, and then you drag this one to here. You drag the arrow, and then first insert card, right? This is the first operation that user did when they come to the ATM machine. So you just put the first operation, which is the insert card. So after insert card, and then the bank account, the ATM machine will actually verify want to verify the card, right? So they have to verify the card with the bank server. So you get this one arrow, just put here. The arrow should be down, right? Down under the insert card, right? And then you drag this arrow to the bank server, and then you just put the verify card. Okay, sorry. Right. Once the card is verified, this is where the return value is written to the ATM machines, right? So a return or reply message should be in the dot arrow, okay? So you put the dot arrow here. Or maybe you use this one. You have to use this box, okay? This box is actually define the that this bank server is active, right? So this is where in active state if there is no boxes, right? So the boxes is actually indicate that the bank server is in active state. So the return value should be the card is valid or invalid, right? So in this case, we put the card is valid, right? Card is valid. And then once the card is valid, what next? What is the next operation? The card will prompt the user to insert the PIN code, right? So you hover, you drag all the box line to the bottom, okay? And then you get this arrow, and then user next will be insert PIN and password, right? So this is the normal operations. So once they insert a PIN and password, and then the system will verify again. So you just copy the above line. You just copy this one, then put down here. Now verify the PIN and password, right? Verify PIN and password, and then you drag this. Oh, sorry. You drag this line, these boxes to the bottom because we want to indicate that bank server is in active state. Right, once you have the verify PIN and passwords, then what is the next operations? The next operations will be return. This is the return value. And then the card will be written that PIN and password is valid. All right. So it will return this value to the customer. So this is where the next step is the user will actually do their next operations, where maybe they want to transfer the money, right? Or yeah, transfer or withdraw the money. In this case, we withdraw money. All right, so withdraw money, then the user will ask the ATM machine to withdraw their money. So once they withdraw their money, so you put another operations, another step in this one, where you just put that start transactions, right? Start transaction. This is where you have to remember, this is where the bank server will communicate to the user bank account. What is the communication is about? The communication will actually verify with the bank user account whether they have a sufficient fund or sufficient money in their account. So this is where the check with the bank account. So you just write a sufficient amount, and then you put this one. Okay, so you drag here, you drag again, and then you put these boxes too here in this one. So this is to indicate that the user bank account is in active state here. And then the return value would be what? The return value from the bank would be amount is sufficient. Maybe the user want to draw like 1,000 ringgit or 200 ringgit. So they will check whether the amount is sufficient or not from their bank account, right? So amount is sufficient, and then you drag again these boxes. So, and then transaction is successful. So you put again this line, this dotted line. This dotted line is indicate that it is a reply message, okay? So transaction is successful, okay? And then you drag again these boxes. Once the transaction is successful, so what happened to the user? So user will get the money. So they will issue the money. So you just put issue money. So this is the step of the drawing money in the ATM machines.